Welcome to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. This is episode 96, and we've got another action-packed show lined up for you. I am your host, the grumpy old-school wrestling fan, collector, barber, and musician from Fall Bright, Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Funko Pop collector, Steelers fan, Booker Andy.
I'm also your host, the no-selling wrestling indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
Well, since you all like to talk about your sports teams, let me just add in one more title. The Baltimore Orioles fan, the best team in baseball. That's right. You guys heard it here first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we will be discussing and reviewing Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett. The two Jeffs go at it. 25 years of edge, very emotional. All in predictions and more. Hey, two things real quick. I always talk about how I'm the singer of Fall Bright and blah, blah, blah. If you guys want to ever come see Fall Bright play, we're playing 2 nights at the Skid Row Garage in York, Pennsylvania. It's not an actual garage. It's a proper venue with drinks and all. But we are opening August 26th for Escuela Grind, which is like a cool metalcore band that's coming up, and they're getting pretty big. And then we are opening September 11th for, I believe his name is, let me just make sure here because I don't want to say it wrong. It is Jason Richardson, and he is the guitar player of Chelsea Grin, and he also used to be in a band called Born of Osiris. So he's a pretty crazy guitar player. So that's all for my shameless self-promotion in the beginning. Before we actually get started on the episode, make sure to go to youtube.com/thepwfan so you can comment, like, and subscribe. By doing this, you're helping us grow, helping us get on that recommended for you page. You guys and girls are the reason why we do every episode, and with your help, we can continue to grow the show. We got merch, prowrestlingtees.com/thepwfan, 5 different shirt designs with a new one coming soon. And, Andy, am I wrong here? Andy's very organized with our dates. Is this the start of year 3 today?
Next week. Next week will be.
So, I was close. So next week,
Almost.
Next week in the coming weeks, let's say, every year we like to drop a new design for each year that the pod's been around. We have a year 1 with the purple, the year 2 with the faces. I have recently hit up my graphic design guy, Dan, who does all of our stuff from Violence and Virtue. Check him out on Instagram, at Violence and Virtue. Does like a paintball clothing company. It's really cool. But I have hit him up, and so let's see what he comes up with for year 3, guys. That and the Jeremy shirt. That's priority. Year 3 shirt and the red Jeremy shirt for Jeremy's favorite football team across the pond, as they say. Yeah, Andy, I think that's it for all the intro stuff. Why don't I pass it over to you because we got a big show. Did you want to jump into, is it Cash Wheeler who we're talking about first?
Yeah, we're going to start with what was going around earlier this week with Cash Wheeler of FTR.
Is there a specific source for this, or is this pretty much all across all wrestling?
I mean, you can find it all over. The one I'm looking at right now is Fox News Online.
Oh, shit. It's not like Meltzer. It's like foxnews.com.
No. I mean, he was arrested and pled not guilty, I believe. But it says for aggravated assault with a firearm. But then if you keep reading, it said that it was allegedly flashed a handgun at the alleged victim. So
yeah,
some states a flashing can be as easy as just pulling up your shirt and showing a handgun. That's considered flashing. The fact that he showed it to basically what sounds like it's basically like maybe there's some me during the road rage incident.
And this is all speculation. Worth speculation.
Yeah, it says Wheeler's arrested appeared to be connected to a road rage type incident. So even if, say, whatever was going on wasn't his fault, as soon as he flashed the handgun at all and showed to him through the window, it would be considered aggravated assault.
The actual incident actually happened, I think they said like 6 weeks ago or something like that.
Happened July 28th. Well, the arrest warrant was issued July 28th. He pled not
Yeah,
guilty on the 3rd. I can't
So it
find the
happened
date of.
That's why I was like, it happened a while ago. So I was like, if there was actually any issue with him being at All In, then I feel like they would have already.
Well,
done something about
apparently, since you said that, apparently this will not
Yeah.
be a problem. His, passport and everything did not get taken away, so FTR will still be at All In.
I do
And the
want to
AEW had
say,
issued a statement about it, but
I just want to say, like, this is just my personal opinion, but I feel like a lot of the time people get judged nowadays before they're proven guilty of anything. So before we start tearing the dude apart on the pod, talking about how stupid he is for doing something like that, even though we haven't even said anything like that, but before we maybe even get there, let's just wait to see what the result of all this is.
yes. So yeah, right now we're just reporting the facts that are on these news websites, not really opinions from us. Anything to add though to that before we get into Raw?
I just have one thing. I know this relates for later on in SmackDown too, but this is, I guess, we'll talk about like Edge, since people were talking about his contract ending and then him being at All In because he's a free agent. Then apparently his contract doesn't end until actually
Till September, yeah.
So he's not going to be at the show, but he still
Could be All Out.
He could be on
Could be All Out, not All
pay per
In.
view the week after a pay per view. So,
but we'll talk about our way of thinking later on once we get to Edge.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to get into Raw?
Yeah.
Raw opened up with
I think Raw was one of the better.
Believe yours is the only way, then you're a fool who lives to die.
Let me hear it. What's the next line?
Keep going?
Yeah, come on.
No, you deserve the hell you're gonna pay on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
Hey.
If I had one of those soundboard things, I would give you the round of applause one right now.
Hell yeah. What were you saying about Raw? It was one of the better ones?
Oh, I thought it was one of the better wrestling shows this week. I thought pro wrestling show-wise this week, and I don't want people to think like it's a waste of time to listen to the rest of the show. I just don't think for pro wrestling in general. I just don't want anybody to think for pro wrestling in general this was like the best show.
Just last week I thought was a really
There's
good
definitely a
week.
lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things happening outside of just storyline stuff.
Tim's like, Raw is great. Everything else sucks. So stop listening.
Yeah, don't even listen to the rest of this, to be honest with you.
I'm giving you guys a heads up. We're not even covering Rampage because I didn't feel like there was anything to talk about. So
you didn't want to talk about
come on.
The first one.
I don't even remember what the first one was.
Commander and Phoenix.
Okay, we can talk about that. Jeremy,
we don't talk about it. Like it was just high flying stuff.
Yeah. All right, Raw. Like I said, opened up with a Judgment Day. So they came out to kick things off. Balor was not with them. Seems to be a frequent occurrence lately. Damian Priest would question, where Balor was, but JD McDonough would eventually come out instead, and give them basically a message from Finn. But Rhea would end up saying that they don't take orders from anyone who isn't part of Judgment Day. If you remember last week, Sami Zayn was attacked by JD McDonough. So Sami Zayn would end up coming out and start fighting with JD. This would lead to a match between the two, I believe, right? Yeah. It would lead to a match between the two, and Sami Zayn would end up winning this one.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm just gonna add, I'm glad they're doing something with JD McDonough as someone that's been a fan of him since NXT UK. And he does have a history in real life with Balor. Balor did train him in Ireland originally. I think people are thinking that Priest is going to leave the group at some point, and JD will pop in if they're going to replace anyone.
Did Devlin, and I feel bad about even bringing it up. Did he get through whatever weird like legal stuff he had going on a while ago? Is that all sorted?
I
as they
vaguely
say?
remember, but if he's in the company still, I would think
I would
so.
assume
Yeah.
it's
Because they got
all
rid
good.
of a lot of people that weren't. They got rid of a lot of people that had stuff, and his.
I'm
ended up
not
being
bringing
fine.
up. I'm not bringing up any details. If you're interested, you can look up Jordan Devlin in trouble on Google, and I'm sure something will pop up. So you can do that on your
I
own.
mean, he
I
never
just was
left the company,
curious.
so something had to have happened.
Yeah,
To where
WWE is
it was in
actually
his
pretty
favor.
good in that way of keeping or releasing people.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Tim keeps calling him Devlin because before he came to NXT
Jordan
in America,
Devlin,
he
right?
was known as Jordan
Yeah,
What is
Jordan
he?
Yeah.
Devlin.
What is he now?
And now he's JD McDonough because I believe it was all part of Vince's whole don't want to use any part of your real name.
So he's Jordan Devlin
Do you remember
McDonough.
that?
Yeah, I remember that. He wants to.
Well, I'm
he-
looking at the.
He wants to own the intellectual property, so that way, if you go to somewhere
Yeah.
else, you can't use the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they also don't want to use real names, and his real name is Jordan Devlin.
Yeah,
So that's why
Even
they
though
changed
that's a better name, but
That's why they changed Austin Theory to just Theory for a little bit because Austin was part of his real name.
It's so stupid.
Raquel Gonzalez. Her first
His
name
name
wasn't
is
Raquel, but her
Theory.
last name was Gonzalez, so they switched it to Rodriguez.
yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is now, and so he's JD McDonough.
Whatever.
After that, we had a segment between Imperium and the Alpha Academy.
I didn't
Gunther
like
would
this.
come out with Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser to talk about.
I was like, nah. I didn't fast
So
forward, but I struggled through it.
They talked about Imperium talked about how Gunther was 25 days away from breaking the record for the longest reigning Intercontinental title reign. Then Alpha Academy would come out, and they would have a back and forth to hype up, Chad Gable's match. As we're speaking about this, he's actually on TV right now. It always seems to happen whenever we're
Chad
Chad
Gable's
Gable.
starting the show.
on TV when we record the podcast.
No, I'm just saying whatever we talk about.
But dude,
on
but he's
Raw the week
always
before, it's
wrestling when
usually
we
something.
record. He's always
He
on.
is.
At least
He's in
as
every-
of late. At least as of
Like
late.
the last 4 weeks, every time Raw is on in the background while we record, Chad Gable's wrestling. It's crazy.
Ready, willing, and Gable.
Ready,
So Chad
willing,
Gable would go on.
Gable.
Chad Gable would end up defeating Giovanni Vinci in a match, and right after this, because Giovanni ended up losing, Gunther was upset and ended up taking on Otis, who he would end up defeating. We have a new pairing of a tag team, just kind of, it seems like one of those thrown together. We don't know what we're doing with you. Maybe they do have a long-term plan. Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle, the weirdest combo of people to team up with, defeated the Viking Raiders, who is on TV every week, but they always lose. I don't know
like
what
Riddle.
they're doing with him. No. So, ever since he left, I just, don't care anymore.
Yeah. Don't care.
I liked him during RK Bro. I honestly did, but now I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care, and it's too aggressive still.
If you want to know what we're talking about, we've talked about it in many episodes. This game is a little too aggressive.
He was wearing a
so
Speedo with
after
no
that,
knee
we
pads and no shoes. He was in a Speedo.
It
Yeah.
wasn't as bad
He
when
wrestled
his
in a Speedo.
Speedo was actually
That was
like
good.
longer.
No, he was wrestling in an
When
actual
it was long, when
Speedo,
it was
like
tight shorts.
like a proper Olympic Speedo.
Like a proper speedo.
Yeah, the no boots, no pads. Okay, whatever. We're getting into it. No
All
boots,
right,
no
we're
pads.
getting off track with
Too
Matt
aggressive.
Riddle's
Yeah.
orifices.
All right. Moving on. Rhea Ripley defeated Indy Hartwell in a match. It seemed like this is the first time in a while we've had Indy Hartwell on TV. Tim might be asking who. She was brought up from NXT. She
This
used
is
to
the first time in a
be.
while that
Indy Hartwell is. Come on. I'm not that bad.
She dates Grayson Waller in real life. Tim's
All right,
favorite.
well, we don't care about that, nor does anybody else.
Afterwards, though, Candice LeRae, Indy's friend, and Indy would end up attacking Rhea.
Also, hang on, just
I
real
feel like
quick.
it's been a while
I think-
since Rhea's been in the program.
I think for the first time in my wrestling fandom, I think I might be like wrong about like fully admitting like maybe I'm wrong about like what people like, but like the Grayson Waller thing made me think of it. We'll get there when we talk about Sting. But I was looking online and people seem to be remembering Joker Sting
I mean,
as
like-
like good. And I'm like, whoa, hang on, I was there. And no one liked it at the time.
Yeah, you watched it during that time.
I was there.
I think you know what I think. People are remembering the initial start of it, where they're like, "This could be really cool," but it's not. It's not going well. Like it doesn't end well. I mean,
guys, do a little research, okay? You gotta go and look at the rest of Joker Sting. You just can't look.
People
at the
are like,
beginning.
God, I hope he puts pain on people.
Oh my god!
I read the comments too.
yeah.
I was, dude, as someone who was there, I'm telling you, for AEW's sake, you don't want this.
All right. So, if you remember last week, I'm going to move forward. If you remember, because we'll get to Sting. We'll get to Sting later. If you remember last week, I believe Raw ended with Nakamura taking out Rollins after a tag match. And so this week, Michael Cole had an in-ring interview with Shinsuke Nakamura to explain his actions, which I believe, didn't he do the whole thing in Japanese?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Wait,
you
Michael
wanted
Hayes
Nakamura to
Hayes came out and did the whole thing in Japanese?
Did I say Michael Hayes?
He was like,
Did I say
Konishiwa, dude. He was like, Konishiwa, dude.
Oh no.
Arigato.
Oh no.
I love that song. Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
All right. Moving on.
Anyway, he had an interview with Michael Cole, and he did the whole thing in Japanese. Rollins
Michael Cole did?
coming out. Oh, gosh. You guys sometimes. Rollins would come out and end up giving Shinsuke a title shot, basically saying along the lines, all you had to do was ask. But the segment would end with Nakamura laying out Seth Rollins with a Kinshasa again. After that, we had Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, which was kind of ended up being lackluster because it ended in a double countout, I believe.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, and they were in, weren't they in?
Guys,
they were in Calgary because SmackDown was in.
I have to quiet down, apparently. I was getting too excited about Michael Hayes. My wife texted me. She said, Tim, you're yelling. And I texted back, all right, sorry. I'm in here trying to make us rich.
Well, I hope she can't retone because it might come off as being an asshole. But hey, sorry, I'm trying to make us rich.
Oh my god.
It really depends on what voice she reads it in.
I like how that's the part that she heard too. Is you like
The
Michael Hayes
Origato.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Origato. Okay, so yeah, the match ended up in a double count out. I believe they were in Calgary because SmackDown was in Toronto. And so I don't know. I mean, do you think they're gonna have an actual match at like Payback or something?
Probably.
Or like
It feels
one?
like a feud, like a B level.
Or are they leading to Lita and Becky teaming up with Zoe and Trish? Because Lita was attacked by Trish, and that's when she went heel.
Hey, Booker Andy, that's not a bad idea either. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would be better,
Yeah,
I think.
I try, guys. I try.
You can, just in case anybody was curious, for any new listeners, you can get the Booker Andy t-shirt in white and black at ProWrestlingTees.com/BWFan.
Well, speaking of T-shirts, WWE would end up making a T-shirt with a lemon on it for Becky Lynch after she joked about making lemons into lemonade while SummerSlam was happening, since she
Yeah.
wasn't on the show.
They're going full
in the
on
ring.
lemonade right now with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that bit was kind of funny at first, when I thought it was like kind of like she was doing it on her own.
It was funny for 1 week. Now it's like I would never
Yeah.
buy a shirt with just a full blown lemon on it.
Yeah.
I don't wear shirts if they're not black, first of all, so I'll never wear a
It is
yellow
black.
shirt. No,
It is
you just
black.
said it
It
was
is black.
yellow.
It just has a gigantic. It's a black shirt with a gigantic lemon on the front. Like
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it. No, it sounds fucking horrible. I would never wear that.
unless it has my face on it, PW fan.
I would wear
Andy's face.
I would wear your guys' face, not mine. I mean, I kind of already do
Just
when I rock the pod
Well, I
shirt,
mean,
but
yeah, I was gonna say our logo is technically that already.
sometimes when my coworkers wear the podcast shirt, which is so fucking cool, I love you guys so much for doing that. But I will like look over randomly in the middle of the day, and like my coworker Santiago will be wearing it, and it's just Andy and your face just randomly in the shop like midday. I'm like, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. That's funny.
And I lost my train of thought. See, this would be on the Patreon, guys. If we make a Patreon, you get to
Hey, do you guys want to
hear all this empty space.
Are there some homies that would subscribe to a Patreon? We would make it like really affordable and not stupid. We'd have some. I think we should do a thing where Andy does a selfie every day of the week. He has to take a selfie and post it in the Patreon, and then we would have the unedited episodes, and we think of all kinds of good stuff in there, shirts and
yeah,
be good.
Andy could do the Judgment Day song in full.
Yeah,
That's my
Andy-
personal
Andy-
hell because
Andy
Tim
has
knows
to-
how much I hate my picture.
Yeah, Andy doesn't like his picture taken, so him having to do one selfie a day would be incredible. We're giving the
If I
people an
make it my
incentive.
outfit,
We're giving the people an incentive to pay
Alright.
here.
All right, Andy. So either one selfie a day, or you do the Judgment Day song in
You
full.
want some signed 8x10s? What's up? Let's go.
Yeah,
What can
dude,
do
we
for
can.
you?
I can do a Kinko's run and just print your face real big, and you can sign a bunch of them.
Kinko's run.
Booker,
real
Andy.
big with my squinty eye, just right in their face.
That's
Yep.
because you were emo in high school, so your eye didn't develop properly.
That's
what
what we say, but we're not.
I
sure.
didn't
We're not
develop
sure.
problems.
Andy kept the hair over one eye for so long that his eye didn't develop.
You know what? If everyone subscribes to the Patreon, we'll post all of Andy's emo phase photos.
I mean, if they just go to my Instagram, it's already on there. So
Andy,
I tell you what,
if
if we
they've already been through my Instagram.
it's not going to happen, so they can prove me wrong. If we make a Patreon and we get to, I'm trying to make it
Tim's emo face.
Now, hang on 1 second. If we make a Patreon and we
Cool.
get to at least 500, I feel like that's fair. That's a big goal. If we get to 500 subscribers this year, or this year being 2023 and 2024, I will cut my hair into a mullet. But we're not going to get there, so I'm not even
Into a
worried
mullet?
about it. But I want you guys,
wow.
like a Theo Von mullet, if we get there. But I want the people to prove me that we're going to get there. We'll see.
Dude, your wife's gonna kill you.
Actually, it was her idea to be like, why don't you try the mullet for a little bit? And I was like, yeah, probably not, but if I had a reason to do it, I would.
Yeah.
Whatever makes her happy, man. All right, let's wrap up Raw though. The main event was Cody Rhodes defeating Finn Balor. I feel like it feels like we've seen this match before, but actually we probably have seen this match many times before. It was solid. You know, nothing crazy, nothing you haven't seen before. Cody Rhodes would end up winning. Finn Balor, I believe, has a terrible loss record this year of 2023.
I think the worst out of anyone.
Yeah, it's really bad. He might be matched up with Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
So that wraps up Raw. Let's get into Dynamite.
Dynamite.
What do you think it opened up with?
Orange Cassidy?
Orange Cassidy defending his AEW International Championship against Wheeler Yuta. He would end up winning in what was it was fine.
It was an alright match.
It was fine.
Yeah.
You seen one Orange Cassidy match, you seen them all.
Yeah, it wasn't anything exciting.
That's my way of thinking.
Is there any part of you
okay.
guys, and I'm extending this question to Jeremy, right? Because Jeremy's more open-minded than me and Andy. Andy, just lay low on this one. If you're Tony Khan, what is your mentality of putting this guy on every match every freaking week in the first match? Is it because you like him so much, or do you really believe that he's that game changing?
I have no idea. Like, I don't even know.
Bro.
Yeah, unless he moves the needle. I think he must sell really well for merchandise.
Okay.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? If he sells a shit ton of merch, I'll eat my words, and then I'll be like, cool. Then I get it. Then I'm like, well, of course he's going to be on first. He sells a bunch of merch. Then it makes more sense than just, why is this guy on
also
TV
kids
every week? Kids like him.
Also, I feel like kids love him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's clearly not for me, but people do like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that match, though, we had an interview with Jim Ross and Kenny Omega, which ended up with Don Callis and his crew of people attacking Kenny. But
and also, can we just say, sorry, during that segment, JR's reaction to Kenny Omega getting hit across the back.
One of the worst acting ever. It was terrible.
Looked,
it was at Daly's place,
He's
right?
like 80.
He just looked and walked away.
He's
He
not
could
just
not
him,
care
but
less.
everyone in that segment. It was like terrible. I did not like it.
JR just couldn't care less
Thank you
when he was
for
watching
reminding me, because I remember watching and be like, this is awful.
And they kept cutting to him, though.
He's just like...
I don't know. That just had, like, I was like, this is going to be a perfect meme.
If anybody has
Little
like,
Jerry.
if anybody has old AEW stuff on like Blu-ray or DVD or just like recorded in some other way where they like to go back and watch it, one of my favorite JR isms for AEW of all time is anytime someone does the back rake, and we've talked about it before on the show, but anytime someone does the back rake, JR just doesn't say anything. He just gets totally quiet. He's like, nope, I don't do commentary over it. Yeah. He's like, I don't do commentary over that. I don't sell it. I don't try to make it sound like it did something. I do nothing. And he just goes dead quiet.
Was it this segment where we found out what Kenny is going to be doing at All In the six-man tag?
Then it cut to Hangman doing that promo outside of the ambulance.
Yes.
And then he
again, not good. But at some point during all this, it was announced at All In it's going to be Hangman, Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi versus Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, and Jay White, along with Takeshita.
So one thing I know people are complaining about Kenny Omega not having a singles match on the show. Their idea was going to be him versus Bryan Danielson again, but obviously Danielson's injured.
Danielson's hurt. Okay, whatever.
So that would have been
a way to get a bunch of people on the show.
Yeah, that would have been
amazing. Because it's not the only multi-man match we're getting, and it's not the only one that was announced. So let's move forward. I actually liked this next segment. Chris Jericho giving Don Callis his answer of whether he was going to join him or not. In a way, with the present, I guess, reminded me of Festival of Friendship, just slightly.
Yeah. So this sorry, go ahead. Go through it first.
Well, I was just so basically, for weeks now we've been wondering if Jericho's going to join Don Callis. Jericho would end up saying yes. Don Callis did not think he was going to say yes, and is just like, let's leave the ring, let's go to the back. But there's something with a black cloth over it in the ring, and Jericho wants to know what it was because it was supposed to be a present of some sort. Callis did not want him to reveal it. And when Jericho does pull back the black cloth, it's a painting of Don Callis holding Jericho's head. And Jericho's kind of confused by it, says, "You really thought I was going to say no," and so I think the plan was to turn on Jericho after he inevitably said no, according to Don Callis. But what ended up happening, I believe, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to think who came out and okay, so Jericho told him off after Don Callis was trying to explain it. Callis would end up slapping Jericho in the face. Then Takesha would come in with a chair to beat him down before Will Ospreay would come in out of nowhere and knock him down with one of his elbow strikes. Yeah. Sammy Guevara would then run in with a baseball bat to try to stop the attack. It was shortly after announced the rumor that we, as in us three, and probably others had heard that it is going to be, well, technically Jericho challenged him, but it's going to be Will Ospreay versus Jericho at All In.
This match is, it pisses me off as a fan because, honestly, for Jericho too, it's two guys that don't need to do this match. They both could be used in something different, and it would be better. Will Ospreay should be fighting. Well, should be wrestling somebody that's more what you want to see when you see Will Ospreay. And then Jericho should be doing some Jericho shit. You know, I don't know, some goofy storyline or like whatever. But like, I don't like that they're together. I feel like on doing each them in a separate thing on that show would be much better than being paired up.
Yeah, I agree too. Because I feel like this Ospreay and Jericho. First of all, Jericho's like, I guess, face turn. Is that what it was? Didn't really feel like a turn.
I don't know. Same as the only one that didn't like leave the group in a bad way.
We've joked about it. We've joked about it through everything. This is a Jericho thing. Anytime something becomes the thing for a hot minute, he's got to be involved. Whether it's Nick Gage or Eddie Kingston or Will Ospreay or who else has he done it to? He's taken heat off of Sammy. I mean, he just attaches himself like a leech to like whatever is the.
He tried to do it with Punk. Punk said no.
Yeah, Punk was like, "Nah, we're good."
Side note: this match with Chad Gable and Gunther is fucking awesome.
It's probably crazy. Yeah,
I can't wait to talk about it next week. He's crushing it. Chad Gable's destroying.
Guy's
not at this exact moment, but
the guy's great. I mean, if they can figure out what to do properly with Chad Gable, I mean, I still believe that he's going to be like something when they figure out what the right thing to do is.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward, Nick Wayne and Darby Allin would end up defeating two guys from Swerve Strickland's group, Bishop Kun and Toa Leona.
Who? The Mogul was it?
Yeah, from the Mogul affiliates. But afterwards, Sting would pop up on the screen, and he would taunt Swerve and AR Fox with an announcement of a coffin match, Sting and Darby versus them two at All In. But what would Sting be doing during this video, guys?
I saw the red paint, and I was like, "Oh no!"
You guys want now? We can talk about Joker Sting.
Joker Sting.
Here we go.
So the only thing I'll say about this one is that at least it wasn't like over the top so far. But I feel like it's gonna go even further.
He was sitting on the couch with one of Swerve's guys. The King, whatever. I don't know his name, dude.
Yeah, I don't know his name either.
I don't care.
But yeah, this like a Sting is, I don't know, his promos.
Prince Nana, that's what it was.
Yeah, his promos I never felt were like the best either. So then when he starts doing this crazy kind of Joker thing, I don't feel like it helps it.
No, don't
again.
Like
I already said earlier I was there for Joker Sting. I feel like, dude, I'm telling you. The pandemic in general did something weird to people. People like remember shit like different than like how it actually happened. I'm telling you,
it feels like it happened. like a different century. 'Cause that's why I don't remember it.
Mandela effect. Joker Sting was good.
I want seriously. in this timeline, everybody liked Joker Sting, and it was sick.
Yeah.
All right. No, but just go back in time. Just go on YouTube. Just search Joker Sting. I'm telling you.
And see if you really liked it.
Tell me if you really liked it after you watch some clips.
It's like I like a little bit of like goofy and weirdness sometimes in my wrestling, but then like Sting, I don't know. It's just like
Sting's
I want to almost change the channel.
Sting is one of my favorite wrestlers
He's best
of all
when
time.
he doesn't talk.
He's
top. That's why he didn't talk.
Sting is top in like my book. He's top like 5 for me. I was gonna say top 3. That might be a little bit strong, but I got behind me. I got 2 WCW Sting figures and a Bash and Brawler. 3 Sting figures hanging up here. Another Sting figure back here, and then 1 like loose. I have like 10 Sting like things
Sting
in this
book,
room.
the Sting DVD.
The Sting book, the Sting DVD. I love Sting. However, my man sucks at cutting a promo.
I love
Like,
Jimmy King.
He does.
I love Jimmy King.
I love Jimmy King. You love Jimmy King.
I love Sting. You love Sting.
But he just shouldn't talk. Just don't. Just shh. Don't talk.
Yeah, listen to Chad Gable.
Well, before we get to someone else who shouldn't talk on the mic, let's talk about Adam Cole and MJF segment, where they talk about their match at All In.
Those two should be talking on the mic.
Those two should be talking on the mic. So at the end of the segment, though, after they had a pretty long segment. I'm sorry if I can't remember everything that was said. If you guys want to fill in the blanks, but Aussie Open at the end would try to attack them, but were taken out by Adam Cole and MJF in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't that. I don't think this was actually the best segment that they've had so far. Like, I feel like last week's was better than this one, but they
were saying they'll do Adam Cole will do anything to win.
Yeah,
and then
like they're actually
also
cutting
open
promos on each other.
Adam Cole was teased that he was going to super kick MJF.
Yeah. And he didn't,
and he ended up backing down. I still say Cole's going to be the one that betrays him, but
I think so too.
I think if anything, hopefully they do it at the end of the 0 hour match. Which
that's what I was going to... Yeah, and tease...
This is the only 0 hour match on the card.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to do something else, like, during that hour, but... if they tease something towards the end... If they tease something towards the end of that match on 0 hour, and then, like, the main event, they're, like, completely against each other, I think it'll work out.
Well... Like Tim said, Sting's not a very good promo, and neither is at least one of these members in this next match. Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy is specifically who I'm talking about.
I'll take Jeff Jarrett doing a promo over Jeff Hardy any day.
I'm talking about Jeff Hardy.
No,
Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy or Sting?
What is
Creatures
of the night? What is up with these guys that wear face paint? They can't cut promos.
Yeah.
So that's why they wear face paint.
Also, I know you're going to go into the match, but when Jeff Hardy came out, and so he started walking towards the back. Yeah, he started walking towards the back area, but it got kind of quiet towards that, and he was starting to be like, Hardy's. I'm like, why are you chanting your own name?
He's so bad, dude. My creatures.
So Jeff made his entrance. He's made his entrance, but then he would end up going.
When he cut the Creatures of the Night promo in TNA, like the infamous one, I literally like felt secondhand embarrassment when it happened.
That was too much cringe for you?
Yeah. Like, I can take a lot of cringe, and I love cringe pages, but like him
Which
trying
is so
to be
funny
like...
though about all this is that Matt Hardy can talk.
Matt Hardy's pretty good.
Matt Hardy just fine.
It's more
He's not amazing and he's not bad, but Jeff is just dirt.
Just don't talk. Just wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jeff would come out, but then he would instantly go through the crowd to find Jeff Jarrett backstage.
It made no sense.
He saw a wall full of weapons, but then Jarrett would come out nowhere to attack. Basically, right after Jeff Jarrett's guys would get involved, but so would the orgasmic Isaiah Cassidy, Ethan Page, and Matt Hardy. Blood was poured on Jeff Jarrett and his wife at some point.
Yeah.
This sucked. This was
it became
terrible.
not just Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy. It just became a discombobulated match of everyone involved.
This was bad. This was late WCW bad, as I like to say. This is like Vince Russo year 2000 WCW bad.
You know what's funny is I saw people on Twitter, especially X, were saying that it's either you hated it and it was stupid, or it was so stupid that you liked it.
Oh, after the Bash of the Beach episode, was it 99 or 2000 for the Dark Side thing? I've been watching on purpose. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but at nighttime I've been watching bad late WCW before I go to bed.
Like Thunder?
Just terrible, just like New Blood Rising pay-per-view, just really bad, just terrible WCW. And I don't know why. Hulk Hogan's wearing a jean vest.
Torturing yourself.
Kevin Nash is in NWO Silver. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on.
Silver.
NWO Silver.
God.
Ugh.
Well, as the match went on, it was harder to tell the longer what was going on. The longer it went on, I don't know why they would do picture-in-picture during this match. Also, and there was times that it didn't feel fully planned out. There was awkward moments where it seemed like people were waiting for something to happen. The ending of the match, though, was in the ring with tables and everyone was involved. This was all for a mediocre video game.
Yeah, I played it.
And then Karen Jarrett got chased away by a guy dressed as Leatherface in a suit with a chainsaw.
Fucking terrible.
So the only silver lining, I guess, for this is that Tony Khan, I don't know if you saw that, he said they made, 10,000? It was either 10,000 or 100,000 off of this match because of sponsorship. But they gave it all to the Maui Rescue Fund.
Okay.
All right. Now, I'm with it.
I
Felt
said
like,
that at the
all right.
beginning before I bashed the match.
Nah, that's cool.
No, the match was horrible, but yeah.
If whatever we can do to help, we can do to help those people, and I'm gonna be honest with you, if you guys had $20 of spending money this week and you really wanted to buy a PW fan shirt, or you could donate it to those people, please give it to those people. We're okay over here. We want you to wear our shirt, but if you had spending money to help, use it for them.
Oh, sorry. I'm going through notes, guys. My bad.
You're fine.
Spaced out there real quick. I just want to add one more thing to this match. One, it doesn't matter if the match is bad or good. Jeff Hardy always has some connection with the crowd where they just get excited for him, no matter what.
Yeah.
And then if you remember at the end of the match, Jeff Hardy did the swanton, but the table broke after.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, it wasn't a smooth just break.
I did a terrible swanton on Tim's trampoline yesterday. Tim's you can't flip anymore.
Andy, I got into Andy's head. He thought he could do a backflip still, and I was like, dude, as a 33-year-old who got on a trampoline with my daughter, it's not what you remember. Your body doesn't move like what you remember.
I can still do a swanton.
I was backflipping on trampolines less than 10 years ago, and Tim and his wife, 10
years ago, Andy.
Tim and his wife just kept saying, "You have a bad neck. You can't do it. No."
You
and
do.
So I'm jumping there, and then it got in my head. I couldn't even get myself to attempt.
I can still do a swanton. I can still do a swanton on a
Andy
trampoline.
didn't even do a
Not
full.
gonna say it's not gonna hurt me.
Andy did a full front flip, or didn't even
I
do a
landed
full
on my
front
back.
flip.
You don't
No,
land.
but he like went to the side. He did like a 75 swanton.
Dude, I'm like Ric Flair, right? I can't land
Yeah.
straight on my neck.
Well,
I gotta land. Like,
It's because you
on
got
my
his bad
stomach.
neck. You should have done a backflip, and I'm glad you didn't.
Or Andy's like, yeah, 10 years ago I can do this.
Dude, 10 years ago,
Yeah,
I could
Andy, 10 years
backflip.
ago I can do it.
10
I can
years-
do a lot of stuff.
Within
When he
10
was-
years ago,
When he was
and
20.
and drunk on a trampoline within 10 years ago, I could do
Dude,
it.
when I was
I could do a lot more too.
When I was 20 years old and when I was drunk, dude, I could do a backflip. Now Andy's 30.
I'm 30 and I'm sober and
Yeah,
I
30 and
can't
sober.
even attempt one.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Britt Baker would end up. Well, first I want to say both, or at least all of the AEW shows this week were the Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah.
Maybe even next
So,
week.
I think it's just this week because a portion of all those shows go to the rescue part.
So Britt
the
Baker
Bunny.
would defeat the Bunny and to secure her spot at All In. I hope she ends up winning the match.
I hope so.
And then our main event was the Young Bucks versus the Guns, who still, there's no reason they should have the coolest entrance in AEW. There's no
Guns?
reason. Yeah.
They need to bring back that 50 Cent song, Many Men. They
I
had
don't
that
even
one
remember
time.
what their song is, but their entrance is just like for them.
Yeah, because it spins around like the stage and they spit out the water.
But FTR would show up in the end to take out the Bang Bang Gang
The bang
And,
bang. Gang.
and help the Bucks clear the ring.
The gang.
And it ended with the FTR and Bucks, the FTR and the Bucks having a standoff in the ring. So that wraps up Dynamite. Let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown opened up with the Grayson Waller effect with Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. In a way, he seemed like he was trying to get them to turn on one another through jealousy, like asking Santos, isn't he jealous that Rey did that? But they're all about the LWO, so that wasn't going to happen. During this segment, though, Austin Theory would come out and he calls out Adam Pearce. But during this, it would lead to LA Knight coming out, and of course a big reception for him. The whole thing was kind of all over the place, but ended up going to a match between Theory and LA Knight. Winner would move on to face Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. And because The Miz would end up coming out and being on commentary and getting involved, LA Knight would lose and Austin Theory would stay in the United States Championship picture. So, anything to add, guys?
Not to that.
Hope. I just hope they don't kill LA Knight's momentum.
Yeah. So the theme of this show was 25 years of Edge. We had our first set of videos for Edge, a lot of thank you videos.
Those videos are
various-
really nicely done.
Yeah. From various WWE superstars, and the montage that they would do of like Edge's career was done very well as well. Charlotte Flair and Bianca would end up teaming up to defeat Io Sky and Bailey. They were working on Bianca's leg the whole time, or her knee. And after a series of more Edge videos after this match, Bianca would be attacked backstage. So I don't know if they're taking her off TV for a little while, or if she's actually hurt. I think they're just taking her off of TV for a little while.
Yeah, I think this is their way of writing her off.
Yeah. Street Profits, now part of the Hurt Business, would end up defeating the OC in a match. And then backstage with Caleb Braxton, Paul Heyman, looking like a little disheveled, hasn't shaved his face, said that he has an announcement for next week. And I hate that they keep saying, you know, the bloodline. The bloodline's done.
The bloodline is done.
But it's still always
Yeah.
the bloodline this, the bloodline that, and
How can you
there is
call it
no
a faction?
bloodline.
Okay, if the Four Horsemen only had Ric Flair and Arn Anderson left in it, or Evolution only had Triple H and Ric Flair in it, it's not Evolution anymore. It's just gone. It's just something else now.
Just Triple H and Ric
those
Flair.
two. Yeah.
But the main event of the show, so main event of the show in Toronto was Edge versus Sheamus. They've never faced each other. This match was winner was Edge. This match was very, very good.
Yeah, very good.
He likes working with
I mean,
Sheamus.
both guys are great in the ring. He's never worked with Sheamus before.
Yeah, but but what I mean is like it's when we used to listen to the E&C pod, it was like a guy that he was on his list.
Oh yeah. I mean, he likes Sheamus a lot. They are good friends, and he thinks he's good, has great matches, and wants to wrestle him. He finally got to, and so
Dude,
afterwards,
Sheamus, I'm telling you, I think you guys over these last couple of years too. Once I started saying like, dude, like when we started seeing like the Sheamus Gunther stuff,
Sheamus is great.
Sheamus for years, like when he first came in like 2010, I was like, God, I hate this guy. He sucks. I don't get it. But like, that's a tough son of a. He's a tough son of a bitch. Like he's put some bangers on. Like you cannot deny that.
I'm glad he's not the Great White anymore, as I used to call him.
On SmackDown when he was the babyface, Great White.
Yeah, I didn't that Sheamus I didn't like at all.
Too many limes. Too many limes. His old theme.
When SmackDown would go off the air, though, John Cena's coming back, guys. He's returning.
What?
By the way,
I don't know.
Yeah, look at your TV.
I don't have it on right now. Spoiler, boss.
Oh,
what's he returning for?
1 week from Friday. So not this
Why?
SmackDown, but next week's SmackDown. I don't know. Probably to wrestle Grayson Waller or something.
No.
All right. Before we wrap up SmackDown, so after Edge's match, you can find videos online. It wasn't on television, but he would get on the mic and basically, Beth Phoenix and his kids were in the front row. He would say, he's going to go home, lick his wounds or tend to his wounds, and then figure out what's next for him. Now, his contract is up in September. My voice just cracked. In September.
Contract is in September.
Edge's contract's up. Do you believe
Come on, hit me with it again one more time.
You did.
No.
How's the second part go? Come on, just hit me with it one more time. Come on.
Won't you reach the other side?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Acapella. So he said he'd go home, talk to his family to see what's next. Now, people are saying online, and by people I do mean fans. I don't mean a source that I can,
FTR
say. But
friend
did they
of the
say
show?
something? I don't know. People seem to think that Edge is going to go to AEW. If you remember at the time,
FTR said, I believe it was FTR. They said it's not as crazy as an idea as you think it is.
well, the internal belief of WWE people backstage, according to Ringside News, is that they think he is going to AEW. Now, before he did make his return, he had an offer from AEW, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I mean,
for those that think that Edge is only a WWE loyalist. But let's talk
also
about the reasons why it's believable. Tim?
But I just wanted to say real quick. Besides, Christian, absolutely. They're not gonna put the title back on Edge, right? He's in his final run in the wrestling business.
Well, I feel like he's wrestled all the people on his list that he used to talk about on the.
He did everything again in WWE that you could do. He was in the main event at WrestleMania. It's like, at this point, if he wants to go to AEW and just close out his career with some fun with his friend, who cares? Just let him. I mean, they're gonna obviously
why
gonna let him.
Why wouldn't he want to end his career with how he started with his best friend, who still is signed to a contract? He could wrestle with his best friend Christian. He could face the Hardys one more time as Edge and Christian. They could face the Bucks. FTR are in real life good friends with Edge. They live in Asheville near him.
There's stories.
So
there's
he
still
would get to face them.
in WWE. There's no stories left for Edge to tell. In WWE, in AEW, excuse me, in AEW, there's still some stories he could still tell before he retires.
I'd like to see Edge versus Cole.
I really like the idea of Edge, and
Edge
Christian
versus
the
MJF
Bucks.
would probably be a dope program.
Yeah, but dude,
It would
But
be.
I don't know if he would do a singles run.
Andy, but Edge and Christian versus the Bucks is a great idea that you just said. But
Yeah, of course. How can you not have
they-
Edge and Christian?
they
versus
could-
the Bucks?
they could still go. Yeah, but if both you guys, if Edge like came out on like a Dynamite or Collision, oh my god, the marking out I would do would be like crazy.
Yeah.
I never thought.
And you know Tony Khan's going to pay for that song too.
Does he just come out as Adam Copeland?
He's just gonna be
I think so.
probably Adam Copeland. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like they said he was done with Edge, like the character Edge.
The Edge.
He's the
Yeah.
Edge now.
The
Like
Edge.
from you too.
Bro, it's the guy that Logan Paul does his podcast with, Mike. When he had like Roman on or like some other, I think Rollins on, he kept saying the Edge, and they were like the Edge, like whenever they were talking about Edge. Edge was
The
in it
Edge.
actually as well.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, there's some stuff. You know, I don't know if he has a singles run in him, but I remember him saying at the time he used to think Aleister Black was really great when he would talk about him on the
Yeah.
Pod of Awesomeness. Maybe he could do something with House of Black and Christian.
Can you
Yeah,
guys
it'll
believe?
be interesting.
But can you guys believe from
Can
like
you believe this? Sorry.
but from when before the shutdown, I should say, when Edge came back at the Rumble until now,
Crazy.
how much time has already gone by? A kid has been from 8th grade and now is going into college. That's how much time has gone by from
Weird
It's-
number to choose.
but like when you're an adult, time doesn't like 4 years is like, yeah, that was 4 years ago. But the reason why I chose that statement specifically, because if you remember the difference of how you were from being an 8th grader in middle school to a senior in high school, that's a huge,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
it's a huge time gap. So like, I always use that as like a metronome of like how much somebody and the world and everything can change, and just because when you're an adult, 4 years is like, I've been at the same job for 10 years, nothing's different. Time kind of stands still in a weird way. You just wear the same clothes.
It
like,
does
yeah.
suck
Yeah, I
though
get
that during the first like year and a half, he had to wrestle during the pandemic of his return.
Yeah, with no fans sucks.
In the greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh God, worst booking.
I feel
ever
like
for
he's
that.
gonna want. I feel like he's gonna want though if he does go to AEW. How can you not want to face Kenny Omega? After
Yeah.
he used to talk about Kenny Omega on the pod.
That's true.
You know, he used to talk about a lot of the guys there.
All I know is this: Edge is going to retire. In
They're
going to
pay for Alter Bridge.
Oh, just
they
hear
would pay for Alter Bridge for that song.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, they will, but hear me out. In the next few years, I would say 2 years, Edge is going to retire. Then maybe like 2 years after that, Christian's going to retire, and you know what that means? The return of the ENC Pod of Awesomeness. I used
Yeah,
to
Jeremy,
love
I don't
that
know if you
show.
ever listened to it, but it was
so
awesome.
good.
It was
Yeah, it
so
was.
funny.
Yeah.
I missed that show.
I
It was
loved
so
it.
funny.
But it was only on like that weird podcast, something Wood. I forget what it was called, but it was like
I would listen to it on
it
Spotify
was like a
every
certain
week.
website. Oh, that was before it came to Spotify. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when it finally came into like, I'd like to think that pod is just on like a few years hiatus until they all figure out what they're doing with the wrestling, and then it'll come back. Cause like I loved that show
God, dude,
so
they
much.
would have people calling like doing impressions of like Stone Cold and stuff. It was so
so
Oh,
fun.
that was hilarious.
And Paul Smackage and Flip Sunset.
Paul Smackage flips on and say, hey, he's gonna roll you up, brother.
Paul Smackage wins all of his matches with a small package.
So, I'm gonna roll you up,
and then I'm gonna roll you up, brother. Ooh.
That's good stuff right there. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe he takes a little break. I don't like it. Do you think? I know we've all seen the pictures of like behind the camera at AEW shows, which the seats are basically empty. That's not news. Do you think Edge could bring in more people?
100%. Because he's another star that's on the same level as Punk. I mean, maybe even more relevant right now with, especially coming off a WWE run. He would get more eyes on the show than
to
anybody.
See, like, Edge is going to interact with these guys, like.
Yeah, but Edge is also like, we look at Edge as a nostalgia figure, right? But there's tons of kids right now who are like, elementary, middle school, maybe even early high school. To them, Edge is like,
this is the Edge they know.
That's still kind of new. Edge is like still kind of like new to them, so they're like, "Oh shit, Edge is on AEW. I'll watch that." Like, it's a different mentality,
Yeah. I also think because like the tickets and everything is because like AEW is still only 4 or 5 years old.
4 years, I think.
Yeah, 4 years. And 4 years as a company, and they sold 80,000 tickets from the stadium, which is kind of crazy to think about.
So they say.
So they say.
Look.
Oh, speaking of tickets, do you want to announce, guys?
I was gonna say, are we gonna say it?
I mean, we did it on the Instagram and stuff.
The PW fan is officially going to WrestleMania in Philadelphia. So
WrestleMania 40.
We're going to be doing a lot of things. So we're going to take the Amtrak from Lancaster, Pennsylvania up to Philly, and then we are going to go to the hotel, drop everything off, probably get some food, and then go over to the stadium for night one. So if by chance you go to WrestleMania and you see us, please say what's up. Let's eat. Let's be merry. Let's have drinks.
Are we wearing our shirts, guys? Should they look out for our shirts?
Just look for the three
goobers.
Shirts. Yeah. Look at our stupid faces. They'll know who we are.
Wearing their own merch.
All three of us.
Yep.
All three of us hanging together.
Wear the face shirts. We'll all wear the face shirts
with our face on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
look out for us either night.
It was very difficult to get tickets. I feel bad for everyone that is still trying, or like the tickets have. People are like, seats in the 100 sections are like thousands of dollars. Look, man, we got them for under $500 in there.
Nights.
Like, I feel really bad for So we got pretty good seats. I'm happy about it.
We won't give you specific prices, and it's not like we're trying to like brag and like rub it in, but by Andy waiting in the queue for a few hours and buying them as soon as they went on sale, all three of us. And not all together, but individually, each of us were able to go to WrestleMania for under $1,000 for both nights together. So that's pretty crazy. Like, so that goes to show that waiting in that line was worth it.
Now I had to wait in two lines: one for night one tickets, one for night two. Night one went quicker than night two. Night two was hard to get. Everyone's like, if I'm gonna pick one, I'm going to pick night two.
Yeah.
And so for a little bit, for a couple hours, we thought I couldn't get tickets for night two. We thought we were only going to end up going to night one. And I tried later on in the day.
In my heart, I was like, there's absolutely no way that we're just going to night one. I was like, there's no way. Because it's WrestleMania.
Good thing I wasn't working, guys.
I know.
But
Tim and I were both at work.
It's been enough years. It's been enough years now of 2 nights in a row where, like, I feel like if you're going to go to Mania, you have to do both nights. You have to do it.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is 2 nights now. It has been for years.
And for us, the whole reason why we're going is because it's the closest it'll ever be to us, to where we don't have to book a plane ticket and.
All we have to do is we have to buy a train ticket and we have to get a hotel, and other than that, besides eating, we're taken care of. So,
They said it hasn't been to Philly in like 25 years.
Which is crazy.
and it's in the Eagle Stadium. And as somebody who's been to a WWE show in that sports complex, guys, it's so sick. They first,
Yeah.
first of all, the Eagles, the Phillies, and the hockey stadium are all in the same.
Basketball stadium.
They're all in the same parking lot, like complex, and it's just a gigantic.
Yeah, I saw
parking lot.
Sabbath at the 76ers stadium.
So you literally get off 95 going to Philly. You park in a parking lot and you walk into the building. You don't have to do anything weird.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Or like it's well, we're gonna take an Uber from the hotel and get dropped off, but still, like it's, you know.
Yeah. It's simple.
So if you guys stay with us, we're going to be doing some stuff, I believe, from that trip.
I
Maybe
think-
go live sometime during
Well,
like,
I'm
say,
gonna
the event or
I'm gonna be vlogging the whole trip from when we first get to the Amtrak station and meet up to get on the train all the way through both nights and when we go home. And then I'll edit a video together on iMovie, and we'll put that on YouTube, and you can actually see the three of us like interacting and hanging out, which, you know, we've talked about doing more of that type. We've been talking about doing that type of thing. It's just, you know, we all work our regular jobs, so it's hard to do. But this is a perfect opportunity to make like a real, really cool experience for you guys to kind of come hang out with us for the weekend in a weird way. So it'll be cool.
Well, let's get into our last show before we get into our predictions. Collision opened up with Samoa Joe versus the Golden Vampire. This
Dude,
match didn't last
Collision?
very long.
Can I just say Collision bummed me out this week? I was like, what happened? Like they had that.
Why did they have to do this for Punk?
And then they had that one guy wrestling, the guy that, like, I don't even know his name. He's not the librarian. He's like the other guy that's like equally as shitty. God, what's his name? Was he in
Who
the?
did he wrestle? Powerhouse?
I don't know. He has like long hair and a mustache and wears like pink tights. It just
Oh God, I don't know.
It reminds me of like a bad Joey Janela.
Aaron Solo?
almost. I don't know. He looks like he's a
Oh,
job.
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I don't know. I didn't even write that part down. So Samoa Joe versus the Golden Vampire. Golden Vampire starts attacking right away. Beats up on Samoa Joe a little bit, and then hits him with a GTS. Rips off the mask. It's CM Punk, who bends down with a microphone and says, "I accept." So Samoa Joe versus CM Punk is now official for All In. You're talking about Dalton Castle and
Yeah,
the
fuck-
boys.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
What?
He
Dude,
sucks.
What?
come on.
Nah, he
No.
sucks.
Dude, remember we saw him? We saw him live at Best in the
Yeah.
World with
No.
the boys.
Fuck
What?
the boys and fuck
He's the
Dalton.
Peacock, man. Come on. Jeremy,
Come
I'm with you.
on.
I'm with you, Jeremy. For once.
Yeah.
On the
Dalton
indie stuff.
Castle's all. He needs to be on Dynamite or Collision every
He
week.
was a former ROH champion. Cody beat him for it, though. But
You know what?
Yeah.
No, you know who a real champion is, and this is a great transition. A real champion is we want to congratulate our boy, Bro Keller, who's returning for episode 100. For he had a big show at the Lancaster Barnstormer Stadium, and he won the title for 3L Wrestling, and that is 3 Legacies Wrestling, run by oh gosh, I wish I could. I gotta remember his name. I'll get it before the end of the show. But Alberto Del Rio's old manager.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it'll come to me. But he runs that promotion, and we're very happy for Bro. We're so thrilled from the videos from the baseball stadium. Looked like it was a great turnout. People were throwing the ribbons into him like ROH style. He had the title. He got a new haircut. Good stuff, buddy. Proud of you. But that's a real champion right there, not Dalton Castle or whoever we're talking about.
Jesus Ricardo Rodriguez.
There it is.
That's
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, so congratulations to him. We will speak to him on episode 100, as Tim said.
I can't wait to ask him about that. I can't wait to just ask him about, when Ricardo told him like you're gonna win the belt. Like I want to know like all the, you know what I mean. I can't wait to ask him about like how
we'll
stuff.
Get the deets.
Get some details. Yeah.
So as Tim was talking about Dalton Castle, Jay White would end up defeating Dalton Castle. Afterwards, Bullet Club Gold would end up cutting a promo. I'm trying to. I mean, it all just had to do with the upcoming match at All In against Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page and Kota Ibushi. Right after this, though, would end up being Juice Robinson and the Guns wanting to wrestle someone, so they would end up defeating the Iron Savages and Jack Jamison. Change your name.
Jack Jamison.
We had a House of Black. Jacked, like you're jacked. Jameson.
Yeah.
House of Black would end up having a video where it was like cryptic about, the whole Billy Gunn stuff with him. Then Ricky Starks would end up talking with Tony Schiavone. And Jeremy, do you remember exactly what kind of stuff was said? I mean, he talks about his 4-week suspension. And being a manager for Big Bill.
Yeah, so they kind of updated
competitor named Derek Neal.
Yeah, they updated his suspension, so it actually ends before All Out, I think. So he'll probably be wrestling on that show.
Wrestling who?
I don't know. But like, he's gonna be on the show then.
Hopefully not Punk again. I don't care to see that again.
Yeah, they don't need to go
Even
that.
Just
down
wrestles
that
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So then after the Ricky Starks stuff with Tony, eventually we had Miro speaking on a video after Powerhouse's win. It's been made for All Out, not All In. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
I think
That'd
that
be a good match.
Can I also say, and this is coming from the guy, just so people don't think I'm like being an asshole, like I'm wearing an AEW hat right now. Can I just say the All Out, All In thing was that's some bad planning on their part. That's very confusing to like.
I don't understand it.
Like that. Yeah. That was not a good idea. To like have
like why do you think they did that? Because I don't get the point of doing back-to-back weekends.
I don't get the back-to-back weekend thing, but also that the names are so similar that if you're promoting the show,
it's literally back-to-back weekends. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
And I didn't know they were that close. I thought they were like 2, maybe 3 weeks apart.
No, it's immediately next weekend.
But the names are, I mean, yeah, it's a 2-word name, but the name is essentially the same thing. So it's like, if you're promoting 2 pay-per-views with the same name almost, it's like it's kind of confusing for people that like are just maybe more of a casual fan. Because if you're just like a normal AEW fan who like watches sometimes, if you see All In or All Out in passing, you might think like, oh, this is that show, that one show. Like it's not like SummerSlam and WrestleMania where it's like 2 completely different things. It'd be like. Right. Wrestle Madness and WrestleMania. It's like, I don't know which one. It's like the same shit.
Yeah.
The main event, though. Sorry, guys. Back on track. The main event of the show, though, in a very, very good match. Christian Cage can still go at the highest level. Darby Allin versus Christian Cage. Winner of the match was Darby Allin. Anything to add to this match, guys? I mean, it was best match of the night.
I mean, it was fine. Yeah, nothing mind-blowing, but nothing egregious that I didn't like either.
I thought it's just nice to see that Christian can still go.
And I like Darby, so
I don't like Christian's look.
I have nothing. I actually think
Christian's look is funny.
I love it. It's terrible. It's great. It's like just
you like the turtleneck?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he says like, I wear a turtleneck because I'm better than all of you. I don't even need to take this off to beat you.
Wow. You guys ready to get into All In predictions?
All right.
Again, we got a long card.
All right.
It's not too long, but
Yeah, it's
0
not the
hour.
longest card they've had.
0 hour Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole for the ROH World Tag Team titles. I'm going Aussie Open.
I think so as well. They're
This
not
match
going
will
to
probably
let.
be really good.
They better do a double clothesline.
No, kangaroo kick.
Yeah.
Forgot about the kangaroo kick that MJF wants to hit.
Yeah.
I'm
How about you, Tim?
I'm going MJF and Adam Cole still. I don't think they're ready to end this thing yet.
You think they're going to win the ROH tag titles and then face each other for the world title?
Yes.
My God. Hangman Adam Page.
I'm actually
versus.
I'm actually curious to know if I'm right about that. That's going to be an interesting one.
Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi versus Juice Robinson, Jay White, and Takeshita.
I mean, Omega and Bushi and Hangman are going to win this. I feel like it's pretty simple.
Omega, Ibushi. Okay. I'm going to agree with you.
I think that's who's going to win, but I'm rooting for the other guys.
I do like Bullet Club.
I don't even know when this match got announced. I might have missed it in the notes, but
To me, the Bullet Club.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
To me, the Bullet Club Gold is the best resurgence of the Bullet Club we've had since the Hot Topic days.
well, Tim, tell me what you think of this match. Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, and the Lucha Brothers versus Blackpool Combat Club and 3 to-be-decided people in a stadium
Stampede.
match.
I think it goes without saying this is going to be my least favorite match of the night. I don't really have to
I don't
say.
agree with you.
You don't agree with me?
No, I said I agree with you.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
what
that
could be
makes sense.
what could be worse?
Yeah. It only if I don't know who the 3 other people are going to be, but I hope it makes up for a little bit of it.
Because it's the 3 undecided people, I'm going to go Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, I mean I'm going them as well because the other team is the team that always loses anyways.
Yeah. LA Knights on TV. Tim, who do you got? Blackpool team or Best Friends team?
God, I don't like either team.
Is this a match just to get everyone on the card?
Yes, of course it is because it's
probably.
stupid. How can anybody say
I've
this isn't
hated
stupid?
Every Stadium Stampede match. And I know I might be in the minority of AEW fans that think that.
You didn't like the first one?
No.
I mean, the one where Matt.
I get why they did it because it was during the pandemic.
You mean the one where Matt Hardy got ran
It was
over,
the Elite.
or when Sammy Guevara
The
got
one
ran
where
over
Matt
by
Hardy
Matt
kept changing,
Sammy
changing
Guevara got ran
gimmicks.
over.
Okay, that
Yeah,
match,
check
changing
changing
gimmicks.
gimmicks. in the
Jeremy,
pool.
that was terrible. Come on.
No, it was not.
When Matt Hardy kept changing characters in the pool, come on.
Yeah. That's like a point.
Jimmy's like,
That's the other
that's
side of
wrestling.
wrestling.
No, that's
Yeah, that's the other side of the wrestling that I love.
This is wrestling. Hey, that's why we're the PW
Hey,
fan.
I'll just say,
That's why we're the PW fan, guys. We're,
when
we're
I
coming
was-
at you from all different
when
perspectives.
it was, when it was during COVID and you couldn't go anywhere and everything, and I had to watch TV and that pay-per-view came on, I loved that match.
Jeremy was like, "This is real wrestling."
I watched that like 3 times.
Oh my god! I
God.
barely made it through the first time.
Dude, so. Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho.
Oh boy, Will
Ospreay.
Will Ospreay.
I mean, hopefully it wins, right?
Yeah, come on, Jericho. What the fuck?
Now, does
Ospreay's gotta
Jericho
win
lose
this
cleanly, or is there interference?
Yeah.
Is there interference with Callis?
I mean, there's probably going to be interference because they have to continue the feud between Jericho and Callis after this.
Who do you have, Tim?
I guess. I mean, Ospreay's got to. He's got to win.
In England? Yeah.
Yeah.
Darby Allin and Sting versus AR Fox and Swerve in a coffin match.
Chris Jericho could lose every match for the rest of his career. He's still Chris Jericho. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect how you look at Chris Jericho.
If Darby Allin and Sting don't win this match, then that's really stupid.
It's like
Tim,
if the coffin match
for which match?
Coffin match. Sting, Darby, Swerve, and AR.
Oh, definitely Sting and Darby. Come on.
But what we're saying, if you don't what?
He might even have a little
don't let Will win?
Joker left in him.
If you don't let Will win, though, is that what you were gonna say?
No, but I was just gonna. What I was saying was like, if Chris Jericho could lose every match for the rest of his career, it's like if The Undertaker or like Shawn Michaels, if they were still wrestling, like if they had 2 years left and they lost every match, it doesn't matter. Like no one's gonna be like, oh,
they're still them.
Yeah, they're still Shawn. But yeah, Chris Jericho's Chris Jericho. So like, Will Ospreay needs to win this match. Which is which I think, in my opinion, is a compliment to Chris Jericho, being like, you're such an iconic wrestling person that it doesn't matter, like.
Jericho's like, nah, I'm going over.
It doesn't matter. You're Chris Jericho.
No one wants to do your stupid idea, Jericho. Someone needs to tell him no.
I always love that Brian last being like, you know what the problem is? No one just ever wants to tell Chris Jericho, you know what? No, we're not doing your stupid idea tonight.
CM Punk versus Samoa Joe for the real World Championship.
Punk, come on.
I mean, CM Punk has to win.
He just sprayed into the belt.
Booed.
I think CM Punk as well. Do you think CM Punk comes out at the end of the MJF Adam Cole match to, they got to combine it at some point or separate and do some different version?
I don't think they do it yet.
So we're all on CM Punk, though. Joe's not winning that. He's already the ROH television champion.
I think at this
Hikaru
point,
Shida versus. Sorry.
I think at this point, except for extreme fans, maybe like me, maybe like Andy, I think the crowd is gonna turn on Punk. Like now, especially with the whole him bringing up the Hangman thing again. Like I think the people that were trying to still like have his back are finally gonna be like, all right, this guy's kind of a dick, but like I'm still Team Punk, baby. Still Team Punk. Not going anywhere.
Hikaru Shida versus Toni Storm versus Saraya versus Britt Baker for the AEW Women's World Title. I'm going with Saraya because they're in England.
I want Britt Baker.
I want Britt Baker, but I think Saraya's going to win.
I think it's going to be Saraya.
She's the only one out of these four that haven't been champion before.
It's going to be Saraya, and then she's going to go celebrate with a big basket of fish and chips, mate.
I actually, that's a good idea. I'm actually going to go with you.
It would be
Saraya.
A big basket of fish and chips, bruv.
Hiss, isn't it?
Hiss, mate, isn't it? It's Tuesday.
FTR versus the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles.
I think
Who
it's
is the best?
FTR, I mean.
You think FTR retains?
Yeah.
Dun, dun. Tim?
FTR, baby, come on. Well, unless Tony does events and does the old punishment for Dax getting in trouble outside of
Cash. Let's get our stuff right.
Sorry, Dax, for Cash Wheeler getting in trouble outside of the company. Now we haven't seen anything.
That's true.
We haven't seen anything that would suggest that Tony Khan does that kind of thing yet. But it will be interesting to see what happens.
Dude, is this how you're supposed to wear hats?
You look like Cal Ripken.
Dude, you just rested on the.
Yeah, the Cal Ripken would just rest the hat on the top.
I've seen like teenagers being like, "Oh, this is how I'm supposed to wear a hat." That's so stupid. Nah, You wear it like this. And
Wait,
it's just like,
wait.
no, dude.
They put the hat on and they're like, wait, so you're supposed to wear your hat like this?
They're like, you're telling me this is what I'm supposed to look like.
You're
It's like, yeah, dude.
Yes. That's how you wear a hat.
Where did this come from?
The ones that are like this.
Oh, stop.
Those are my favorite. I've seen them at the bar. Oh no, you got tilted down. I've seen them at the bar when I went to when I used to go to the bar. But
That's like 2002.
they're like, yo,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ. You look like it's the year 2002 and you just put underglow on your car. And you're parked out front of Wawa.
All right. Anyway, main event: MJF defending his title against Adam Cole. Who wins? How do you think it ends?
I think
I'm going. Go ahead, Tim.
I think MJF retains, but I don't think they turn on each other yet. I think they do the banger match and hug.
Really?
I think they do the banger match and hug at the end.
It's a banger for sure.
I'm going with Adam Cole, I think, and he's the one who cheats the win.
Adam Cole heel turn.
Yeah. And then MJF is a babyface.
Yeah.
But Adam Cole ends up being champ.
See it.
Yeah. Because MJF is doing this thing now where he's like, I'm your scumbag. So he's still going to do awful things, but now he's like, he's ours. Andy?
Booker.
MJF, but
Andy?
MJF, but Adam Cole turns.
Okay.
So who's champ?
MJF's champ, but Adam Cole turns.
Okay. Do you think it's like after the match then?
Yes. Instead of
He,
like
like,
a hug.
Yeah, he like super kicks him or something.
And then Adam Cole joins the kingdom with Roderick Strong and Matt Taven
Oh my God.
and Mike Bennett.
No.
I don't know about that.
That does it, folks. Next week, we're covering All In, and it'll be our 2-year start of year
next week.
3 episode.
Yeah. Well, I guess that wraps up episode 96 of the PW Fan. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we head out today, I'm going to take you to my classic show of the week, which is, let me bring that back. I lost the page here. There we go. Sorry about that. It is The Great American Bash, 1989. Now check out, this is a Hall of Fame pay-per-view right here. All right, you got starting off the Skyscrapers. Well, I just gave away who won, but the Skyscrapers win a King of the Hill double ring battle royal match. You have Bill Irwin versus Brian Pillman. You have Shane Douglas and Johnny Ace. Yeah, that Johnny Ace. Hey, how you doing, pal? Yeah, that same guy. Them versus
I hate that guy.
the Skyscrapers once again coming out for another match. Jim Cornette versus Paul E. Dangerously in a one-on-one match. Isn't that weird? Well, it's actually a tuxedo match, but still. Just Paul Heyman versus Jim Cornette in a match. Pretty wild. The Steiners versus the Varsity Club. And then you got Sting versus the Great Muta. Lex Luger versus Ricky Steamboat. The Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. The Midnight Express. And Paul Ellering versus the Fabulous Freebirds, Jimmy Garvin, and the Samoan SWAT team in a War Games match. And the main event of the night, Ric Flair versus Terry Funk. I mean, come on, guys. That's a Hall of Fame fucking card right there. If I've ever...
I mean,
come on, you bunch of jabbers. All right. Well, it was great seeing you all for episode 96. We'll be back next week for the start of year 3. Pretty incredible. Thank you all so much for listening. Until then, keep loving wrestling and take care, everybody.